extruded, extended curve, expandable antenna, foldable fan, and then for the seasonable claddings that were the claddings, the coverings of the building face facade envelope would look different using squarish wall units, diamond wall units, circular, and inflating wall. So I'll take one by one. I've made animations for each. So over here, what you will find, that you will find the shading devices, the extruded curve, the vertical one, appears based on the date and the time of the day in every year. So if it's not needed, then it's invisible. It's actually inside the wall. And based on how much you want out of it, this can be controlled using a building automation system, or can be individually controlled by the user. So you would look at someone who would like to have more privacy, closing it all, someone who has less privacy, opening it a little bit. Or it can be automated using the sensors. And the sensors are outside the buildings based on the weather outside, the temperature, and the preferences of the individuals inside each room, because we have different preferences. As users, each one of us has different preferences. So based on these preferences, you would be able to see in the complete face of the building, not all of them automated like this, but they are automating with different intervals, different behaviors based in the user's preferences. You could have this as well for the horizontal shading devices. So it could, again, be invisible, extruded outside as needed. Next, please. Okay, this one, I'm sure each one of you knows the radio antenna in our cars. That's where it came from. This is a radio antenna, but it's a radio, it's an antenna shading devices. It's cloth and metal. It's extruded outside as needed during the preferences, and again according to the weather outside. Okay, and as you would see, this is the Japanese fan. Okay, so we've used the Japanese fan here to introduce it to be a horizontal shading devices. Now, that one for the being invisible, so it appear and disappear based on the sensing the weather outside, and also based on the personal preferences. We would like the next part, that we would like to see our building looks different based on our preferences, based on the seasons. We would like the building to be in the spring to look green. Okay, so what introduced elements of the building, as you might see. Okay, it's a squarish element that rotates, so it has 4 colors, 4 textures. And you can use it in different places of the building. So you would not see all the windows and all the parts are green, but again, you can control it based on your preferences. So I would select green, my neighbor would select red, so you would see the building colorful from outside. As you pass by in the afternoon, preferences may change, so you would see a different colorful building. So buildings will dress differently, as we do. Okay, here is an element for inflating, changing the volume of the building. And changing the volume of the building is actually based on, we need more cavity if there is too much heat outside, because to increase the capacity of the thermal insulation of the wall. So we could have these foldable inflating walls that change its sizes, so you would see that the facade of the building is getting fatter or thinner based on the heat outside. Okay, so what is the value? The value of these techniques, these are just few, but there are many. And there are many that are more technical and more complicated. Life, if there is something constant in this life, it is the change. So change brings with it freshness. And we would like to bring this freshness to our buildings. We would like our buildings to practice the change that we practice and we witness and we see. We would like the changes to happen. Okay, this is extremely important for those who are building buildings that will be built in the 21st century. Because if we would assume that our buildings would remain the same, I think we are mistaken. And also we would like these buildings to be responsive to the changes in the environment and also to our preferences. Based on my mood, based on my personal preferences, I would like the building to react to this. Okay, I don't mind the building to look chaos, because we experience chaos as part of our mental abilities or status in our lives. And also, we would like these types of buildings, by allowing buildings to change, we are influencing people's behaviors, attitudes, and productivity. If we have buildings that react to people's behaviors and attitudes, so it helps to augment the status that they have or to change it. And also in these presentations I offered almost 10 techniques of workable and operable techniques. The technical details of this are available if someone would like to take it through into a construction phase or implementation phase.